Hello everybody, hope you all are doing really well. So today we are going to discuss about ISA 580, which is written representation. My friends, this standard is very important for your examination because this standard talks about that what kind of confirmations you need to take from the management. As of now, we have discussed about the confirmations that we need to take from the third parties, right? But today we are going to discuss about a very important and new concept which is from the completion and reporting stage. So this might be probably the first topic that we are studying from the completion and reporting stage. So this is going to be very interesting for all of you. That is, we are going to understand that how do we complete the audit, how do we complete all the audit procedures, how do we move towards the conclusion stage. Okay, so we are going to discuss about all of these things in very much detail today. So this lecture is going to be very interesting for all of you, and I would really suggest that you should have a pen and paper while understanding this standard, because this might look like a very small standard but it has a long story behind it. Okay, so we are first of all going to understand the need for written representations. First of all, what is written representation, and second, what is the need for written representation, and then we are going to discuss about the scope and content of written representation, and then finally we are going to go for the discussion with the technical text. Okay, so please be with me till the entire session so that you can understand it really well. Okay, so I hope the agenda is clear for today. So once we complete this standard, we will be closing this video and then we will be moving towards the next topic. Okay, so now my friends, let's discuss about this particular topic, which is written representation. My friends, what happens is, first thing is that we all understand that written, if an evidence is in written format, then it definitely becomes more reliable, right? Do you agree with me? Yes, I hope you agree with me. Now the case is whenever we talk about that we are in a particular situation and we want to get an evidence from the management, especially from the management, it should be reliable. That is, management should have integrity, we should be able to trust that evidence, right? However, there are always chances that management might not present you the entire information, because you are going to conduct your audit based on the information and explanations provided to you by the management. Am I right? Yes. So this could happen that there was some information which was available with the management but they have not submitted to you. Can that be a scenario? Yes, that could be a possibility, right? So that is why it is very important for all of us to confirm whether all informations have been submitted to us or not, right? Then we also trust the management on identification and prevention and detection of frauds, right? That is primary responsibility with the management. We only obtain the reasonable assurance, so we also trust the management that they will be informing us about all the actual as well as the suspected frauds, like we have already discussed in the previous standards. So all of these needs to be confirmed at the year end with the management. That is, management should submit one letter to the auditor. That auditor would use as an audit evidence that this particular letter tells us that management confirms that they have told us every significant information. They have given us all the relevant information that is available with them. They have told us about all the actual as well as suspected frauds. Plus there are multiple other contents to it. So I hope that this particular agenda is clear, this particular scope is clear, and the idea why written representation is obtained, that idea is very clear to all of you, right? Now let's discuss about that who gives the written representation, and let's discuss about some of the key pointers that could be asked in the examination. Okay, so who gives the written representation? 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 So generally management or those charged with governance. Generally management or those charged with governance gives the representation letter, written representation letters. We will be confirming all of these questions once we have already covered the standard in full. Okay, now what if CEO or management changed? What if CEO or management changed during the year? What if CEO or management changed during the year? What I'm trying to say, so say the year is April 2025 to March 2026. On 1st October, that is after completion of 6 months, the CEO or the management got changed. Okay, now the new CEO will be coming and that person would be signing the written representation for the year ended 31st March 2026. So will he or she be signing the written representation for the period served by him or her, that is from 1st October to 31st March, or for the entire 12 months, for the entire year from April 2025 to March 2026. What do you think? What do you think? So that person needs to sign for sign, or let me write fully, new CEO or management would provide written representation for the entire period covered under audit, because that person is assuming such a significant role, so that person should be able to take the responsibility as well. Okay, so now this is it about some of the key factors. Now let's go towards understanding in detail via the technical text. So ISA 580 written representation, is it an important standard for your examination? Definitely yes, it is a very important standard for your examination. Now written representations are written statements. First of all, written representation, of course written, right? Of course written statements by management about what? To confirm management's responsibilities, that is management acknowledges their responsibilities, that is already agreed. These are management responsibilities agreed in the engagement letter. Remember engagement letter, I said 210, agree in the terms of audit engagement. So agreed in the engagement letter, agreed in the engagement letter. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now to support other audit evidences, so generally it is said that the written representations are corroborative audit evidences, that is they provide evidence to an existing evidence. See, written representation can never act as the sole evidence, because that is signed by management. You have to confirm the assertions. If you have to believe management that much only, then why are you auditing the financial statements? You can just take the financial statements from the management, take it on email that they have taken all the due cares and there's no risk, and you can sign it. But that is not the case, and similar way written representation cannot solely represent any evidence. They are corroborative evidence. Okay, so there are 2 points related to it. Number one, that is WR, that is written representations are used as corroborative evidence, okay, and not primary evidence, evidence. That is very, very important to support other audit evidences. And second thing that is important is WR cannot be used as the sole evidence while framing a conclusion. I hope this is clear. I hope this is good for your understanding, right? So to support other audit evidences, to confirm management responsibilities, and to support other audit evidences, these are the scenarios. Okay, now written representations provide, why I have created these notes, so that everything could be covered and we do not end up missing out on anything. Plus this is so summarized, the standard is only covered in 2 pages, so this is so summarized that it will help you to understand everything in detail. Okay, so written representations provide necessary audit evidence, but they do not provide sufficient appropriate audit evidences on their own. This is the exact line that we have understood here, that written representation cannot solely act as an audit evidence to frame the conclusion. However, they provide corroborative audit evidences. So written representation provide necessary audit evidences, but they do not provide sufficient appropriate audit evidences on their own. That is WR cannot be used to conclude solely. Okay, that is important. Now, written representations from management covering areas of their responsibilities must be obtained in writing. That is, representations regarding management responsibilities should be confirmed in writing. That is the purpose of written representations. So what are the responsibilities? Management responsibilities for the design and implementation of internal controls to prevent and detect fraud. Did we understand it? Yes, we covered it under ISA 240, right? Auditor's responsibilities relating to fraud in an audit of financial statements. Then management's belief that aggregated uncorrected misstatements identified by the auditor are not material. This is not management's conclusion, this is management's belief. The words are very important. This is talking about responsibility, but this is talking about belief, not conclusion. Management's belief, that is management wants to think like this, or management believes this. However, this might not be true as well. So management believes, at least management should understand, and management should think that whatever are the uncorrected misstatements identified by the auditor, that are not material. That is, management can never say that we understand that it is material but we do not want to provide the adjustment. No, there could be certain uncorrected misstatements which are not corrected in the financial statements. However, I'll repeat myself. See, there could be certain uncorrected misstatements which are not corrected in the financial statement. However, it is a requirement that management should sign it in the written representation letter that they believe, even if it is not true, they believe that it is not material. That is, whatever uncorrected misstatements are there identified by the auditor, they are not material to the financial statements. Okay. Now, management's acknowledgement. See, the words are important here. Acknowledgement. Management's what? Acknowledgement. Management's acknowledgement of responsibility for fair presentation of FS as per AFRF. That is, as per AFRF. What is AFRF? Applicable Financial Reporting Framework. That is, management takes responsibility for the fair presentation. What is fair presentation? True presentation. Whatever is said, we have followed it 100%. But fair presentation means that whatever transactions you have disclosed, whatever provisions you have done, whatever disclosure presentation disclosure you have done, that is following the fair presentation. Fair presentation as in it is appropriate for the scenario. I hope this is clear. Now some saving issue maybe, let me check. We have covered this. Okay, we are here. Okay, so I hope this is clear. We lost last few lines only, so that's good, not an issue. Okay, so responsibility, belief, aggregated uncorrected misstatements are not material, management's acknowledgement of responsibility. So the important words here are responsibility, belief, acknowledgement. Okay, not conclusion. That's amazing, I feel. Yes. Now let's move forward. Management's approval of the FS, that is, management approves. See, what happens is, say auditor has signed the financial statement, now management could come up tomorrow and say that we did not approve these financial statements. Auditor has signed them, but we did not approve it. Auditor has audited this and they have provided the report based on this FS, but we did not approve it. We do not say that we have approved it. Auditor themselves accepted this financial statement and they issued the report, but we do not accept it. There were certain things that were required to be corrected and auditor's report is not correct. So to save ourselves from this, what we do, we take in writing that management has approved the financial statements, and this is very important point. Everybody misses out on these points and this is very, very important. So what all things you can confirm in writing, those things are important over here. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now, written representations to support other audit evidences need to be obtained only if required by ISS or determined necessary by the auditor. That is WR can be used as corroborative audit evidence when required by ISS or determined necessary by the auditor. In view of their importance, written representation that are critical to obtaining sufficient appropriate audit evidences must be provided by those charged with governance, that is other than management rather than management. We discussed who can provide the written representation, generally management or those charged with governance. That is, if something is considered as very, very critical for the financial statements or very, very critical for the financial statements or the auditor's report, then that should be given by those charged with governance and not management. Okay, in view of importance, certain must be provided by those charged with governance rather than management. Now, if there are concerns about the competence, integrity, ethical values, that is, we are questioning that who is signing the written representation. Now, If we have a strong doubt over the competence, say there is one director of the company who might not be financially aware, who might not be financially knowledgeable, financially literate, and if that person is signing that we have applied controls over the financial reporting, then we might not be able to trust it fully. We might not be able to think that that person is competent enough. That person is competent enough for the business, but maybe not for the finance. That could happen, right? So if there are concerns about the competence, integrity, even if integrity is not, even if that person is not trustworthy, based on your audit procedures in the other areas, you concluded that this person does not have integrity, or we cannot fully trust this person's representation, then also you can question it. Ethical values, sometimes what happens is during your audit process you identify certain people who are not ethical in their approach, that is they do not have integrity, maybe they do not have the capacity of maintaining confidentiality, maybe they are not professional in their approach, so that could be there. And diligence of management, the auditor must consider the reliability of representation and audit evidence in general, that is auditor needs to evaluate the reliability, of written representation based on the integrity, competence of the person providing it, right? That is very, very important. I hope this is clear. Now if management refuses to provide or wishes to modify, or wishes to modify any other representations considered necessary, the auditor should, see, let's understand it. If management refuses to provide or wishes to modify any other representations considered necessary, the auditor should. Refuses to provide or wishes to modify any representation, that is, if management has refused. Can management refuse? Yes, they can refuse. But the first thing that would come to the mind of an auditor, a mind of a professionally skeptical auditor, is that why they are rejecting, why they are not signing the written representation. That is very, very important. See, if they are not signing the written representation, then it might happen that they might not believe what they are signing. There could be chances that they do not have integrity, they do not have ethical values. So that is very, very important. Okay, that is very, very important. I think there is some error in this file today. No worries, I'll rewrite it and upload it in the board notes, not an issue. Let's focus on the understanding part first. So if management refuses to provide or wishes to modify any other representations considered necessary, the auditor should discuss the reasons with the management and those type of governance. That is, first of all, discuss and understand the reasons why they do not want to provide it, why they want to refuse it. Establish if other audit evidences are available. If they are available, and if they are of the opinion, if auditor is of the opinion that they will be able to conclude on the relevant assertions based on other audit evidences, then you do not need to do anything. However, if you cannot trust the other audit evidences, or if you are unable to conclude based on the other audit evidences, then if no satisfactory conclusion is there, consider the implication for the auditor's report. That is, you should evaluate whether you need to modify the opinion or whether you need to withdraw from the engagement. I hope this is clear. With this, we have completed the understanding of ISA 580 written representation. Who needs to provide it? Management or those type of governance can provide it. What if CEO management change during the year? Then the new CEO management, those type of governance, will have to provide the written representation for the entire audit period and not just for the period that they worked on the company. Okay, so that is very, very important. This is one new question that might come up and that might create a trouble. So I hope this is clear. With this, we have completed the understanding of written representation. Now let's meet in the next lecture. Thank you so much.